Hi students, I welcome you all to the part of silk in lesson 3 fiber to fabric. We used to purchase gorgeous and variety of dresses for special occasions and festivals. But for an important occasion like wedding, particularly for bride and bridegroom, we select silk at the most. Why? It will be beautiful, soft, shiny and attractive. At the same time, it is very expensive. Why it is so expensive? Think. The topics we are going to discuss today are what silk is, life cycle of silk moth, from cocoon to silk, discovery of silk, sericulture, processing of silk, reeling of silk, types of silk. Before that, let us recall few terms. Fiber is a raw material, very thin, long thread-like structure, which is used in the production of clothes using different techniques. Fiber to fabric. Fiber, very thin, long thread, okay. Then yarn. Yarn is a long, continuous strand of fibers twisted together that can be woven into fabrics. Then what are fabrics? These are pieces of cloth that can be cut and stitched to make dress like shirt, etc. As you know, two types of fibers are there. They are natural fibers and synthetic fibers. What are natural fibers? The fibers which are obtained from plants and animals are called natural fibers. Examples cotton, silk, jute, and wool. What are synthetic fibers? The fibers which are synthesized in laboratory are called synthetic fibers or man-made fiber. Examples nylon, rayon, acrylic, terrycotton, etc. What are the two types of natural fibers? Plant fibers and animal fibers. Cotton, flax, jute, hemp, coconut, banana, these are all plant fibers. Wool, silk, furs, these are animal fibers. Children, in this lesson, we discussed mainly about animal fibers. In last video lesson, you have studied about wool. Wool is a natural fiber obtained from sheep. Can you remember these terms? Fleece. Wool is obtained from the fleece, that is hair of sheep. Selective breeding. The process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring is termed selective breeding. Some animals that yield wool are Angora goat, goat, yak, camel, alpaca, llama. Processing of wool. It is a long process which involves the following steps. Step 1. Shearing. In this, the fleece of the sheep along with a thin layer of skin is removed from its body. Step 2. Scoring. In this, the sheared skin with hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove grease, dust and dirt. Step 3. Sorting. After scoring, the hairy skin is sent to a factory where hair of different textures are separated or sorted. Step 4. Removing burr. The small fluffy fibers called burrs are picked out from the hair. Step 5. Dyeing or coloring. The fibers can be dyed in various colors as the natural fleece of sheep and goats is black, brown, or white. Step 6. Making yarn. The fibers are straightened and rolled into yarn. In wool industry, sorter's job is risky. Sometimes they get infected by a bacterium, anthrax, which causes a fatal blood disease called sorter's disease. Such risks faced by workers in any industry are called occupational hazards. Children, now let us see about the next animal fiber, silk. Silk is produced by many insects such as silkworms, bees, wasps, and spiders for building their nest. They secrete fiber made of protein, which hardens on exposure to air and becomes silk fiber or silk thread. But silk that is sold as thread is produced exclusively by silkworms. Silk is a fabric with an attractive luster and ray, so it is called as Cuna fibers. It is a natural animal fiber. It is made up of protein. Obtained from silkworm, it is soft and light in weight. It is very smooth and strong and resilient, that is elastic. It has sheen and luster, that is shining. It takes dyes very well. It is hypoallergenic, that is causes less allergy in humans. It is a good insulator, warm in winter, cool in summer. Students, the total production of silk is estimated to be around 1,25,000 metric tons per year. Sericulture or silk farming is the cultivation of silkworms to produce silk. Before we discuss the process of obtaining silk, we should know about the life cycle of silk moth. Life cycle of silk moth has four stages: eggs, larva, pupa, and adult moth, that is imago. First stage, female silk moth lays about 500 eggs. They are very small, yellowish color. See that? How small they are. Only pinhead size. Yellowish in color. Within 10 days, eggs hatch into larva. Newly hatched larva is about 0.06 to 1 centimeter in length. Larva is eating mulberry leaves continuously for 25 to 30 days. See how fastly it is eating. During this time, larva undergoes four moltings. What is a molt? The process of shedding skin. After fourth molting, the larva attains 6.5 centimeter length and stops eating. Silkworm making cocoon with silk fiber. Salivary glands of larva are modified into silk glands. These glands secrete a liquid that contains fibroin, a type of protein, and sericin, that is gum-like substance. When the fluid is exposed to air, it turns into silk fiber. Silkworm spins silk fibers around its body about 1,000 times. As a result, a protective case is formed around the larva. This is called cocoon. It takes 5 to 7 days for complete formation of a cocoon. See this larva spinning. How nicely it is spinning. See the white fibrous material, that is silk thread. See, these are cocoons. Inside the cocoon, larva changes into pupa. One larva is there, remaining white things, that is cocoons. All that are cocoons. Inside the cocoon, larva changes into pupa. Let us see. This is the third stage. Then pupa develops as imago. It makes a hole and comes out from the cocoon. Now let us see the four stages of life cycle one by one. First stage, eggs. Female silk moth lays about 500 eggs at a time on the leaves of mulberry trees. Female silk moth die after laying eggs as she does not eat anything. Eggs will be in golden yellow color. Second stage, larva, plural larvae. The female silk moth lays eggs from which hatch larvae which are called caterpillars or silkworms. The silkworm eats day and night the leaves of mulberry tree and grows big in size, whereas the skin does not increase in size. During the feeding period, a silkworm sleeps 4 times, each time at intervals of 6 days. While sleeping, the skin cracks and on awakening, the worm leaves the old skin and comes out in a new one. This process is called as molting. After the final molting begins the last feeding period, after which the worm grows to the full size. Before entering into the next stage, pupa, it secretes fiber made of a protein which hardens on exposure to air and becomes a silk fiber. Third stage, pupa, plural pupae. At the end of the larval stage, the insect makes a hard shell called cocoon, inside which it becomes a pupa. Cocoon is made up of small filaments generally called as silk filament or silk fiber. Silk filament or fiber is a double strand of fibroin, a kind of protein, which is held together by a gum-like substance that is called sericin or silk gum. The pupa does not eat or move in this stage. Silk is obtained from the cocoon. Pupation occurs within a cocoon that is made of one continuous white or yellow strand of silk averaging about 915 meter long. This filament is preserved intact for commercial use by killing the pupa with hot air or steam. Adult silk moth, it is the fourth stage. Inside the cocoon, the pupa changes into adult moth. The moth makes a hole and comes out of the cocoon. See, it's trying to come out. Silk moth is creamy white in color. It has 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings. Silk is the queen of fibers. How was it discovered? Let us see. According to an old Chinese legend, the Empress Qiongqi was asked by the Emperor Huangqi to find the cause of the damaged leaves of mulberry trees growing in their garden. The Empress found white worms eating up mulberry leaves. She also noticed that they were spinning shiny cocoons around them. Accidentally, a cocoon dropped into her cup of tea and a tangle of delicate threads separated from the cocoon. Silk was discovered in China. In this way, the fiber of silk was discovered but Chinese guarded the secret of silk for over 1,000 years. Sericulture. The rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called sericulture. This is the same thing what you have seen in the life cycle of the silk moth. But the silk farmers do this systematically for getting more yield of silk for commercial purposes. Sericulture starts with laying of eggs by the silk moth on a special paper set out by the silk farmer. The eggs are uniformly spread on egg frames and then covered with tissue paper and an outer frame. These frames are kept in an incubation chamber for about 20 days. After 20 days, the frames are taken out, kept on a tray, and opened. In these 20 days, eggs hatched into half-centimeter long larvae. These egg frames having covered with fresh mulberry leaves by the silk farmer. Then the larva came out from the frame and feed the leaves for 4 to 6 weeks to grow up to 7 centimeter larvae. After 6 weeks, the larvae stop feeding. Farmers transfer these larvae into montages. Each larva then produces single continuous silken thread around itself to form a protective case called cocoon. The cocoon completes its formation in 3 days. Larva changes first into a pupa and then into a silk moth. Silk moth breaks and comes out of the cocoon. Since the silk thread is damaged by the silk moth while coming out, the silk farmers usually kill them by putting 10 days old cocoons in hot water. Hot water also loosens the silken thread of the cocoons. Loosened threads from the several cocoons then bound into yarns to make strong threads, which are woven into cloth. Processing of silk. For producing silk, silk moths are reared and their cocoons are collected to get silk threads. 10 days old cocoons are put into the hot water. Why? Hot water loosens the silken thread so they can be easily separated. Now let us see. Can you see the steam? They have been put in the hot water so that it can be loosened. Can you see? From the cocoons, the silk threads are slowly taken out. The cocoons are kept in hot water. The tightly bound silk thread gets loosened. The process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk is called reeling of silk. Women's part in silk industry. Women play a key role in sericulture industry. In India, women are mostly found as the major activists in sericulture. Presently, about 60% of total working force contributing in sericulture as worker in rising food plants, leaf collection, silkworm rearing, reeling, spinning and weaving is women. Women are the proud of silk industry. Silk Road. Silk industry began in China and was kept a secret for hundreds of years. Later on, traders and travelers introduced silk to other countries. The route they traveled is still called the Silk Route. There is a variety of silk moths which look very different from one another, and the silk yarn they yield is different in texture, like smooth and shiny, etc. There are four types of natural silk produced based on the silkworm used. They are mulberry silk, airy silk, tussar silk, and muga silk. What is the most common silk? Among the four types of silk, mulberry silk is the most common silk. It contributes around as much as 90% of silk production, with the mulberry silkworm Bombyx mori generally being regarded as the most important. The silk fiber from the cocoon of this moth is soft, lustrous, and elastic and can be dyed in beautiful colors. Mulberry tree, scientific name is Morus alba. Mori culture is the science of mulberry cultivation to rear silkworm for silk production. Bombyx mori feed specifically on white mulberry leaves. There are different types of silk sarees in India. Kanjivaram from Tamil Nadu, Banarasi from Varanasi, Pochampalli from Telangana, Chanderi from Madhya Pradesh, Muga from Assam, Paithani from Maharashtra are very famous silks. Go through the list. Not only these, there are so many types of silk sarees in India. Artificial silk. Rayon or artificial silk was the first man-made fiber from a natural base material. Rayon has silk-like appearance, hence it is known as artificial silk. It is much cheaper. It is obtained from wood pulp and it is made of modified plant material cellulose. Synthetic silk can be prepared in a large scale in factories or mills, so it is very cheap. Experiment to differentiate real silk, that is natural silk, and artificial silk. For this, we have to take an artificial silk thread and a pure silk thread. Here, the yellow color is real silk and the red color is artificial silk. We have to burn this very carefully. Natural silk fiber burns and smells like burning hair, whereas synthetic silk just melt. If you burn a woolen fiber, that also will smell like burning hair. Can you say the reason? Both the silk and woolen fibers are animal fibers. One more thing. In case of natural fiber, the thread will simply burn and turn to ash. The ash will be black and crispy, brittle. Silk is a costly material. Why? To obtain silk for commercial purposes, a large number of cocoons containing living pupae are killed. The production of silk yarn is a fully natural process and it is very slow. A newly hatched silkworm gains 10,000 times its birth weight in about a month. So they eat 100 kg of mulberry leaves to produce half a kilogram of silk. As a result, natural silk is costly. Uses of silk. Silk is a fabric with an attractive luster. So it is used to make beautiful clothing, upholstery, soft furnishing such as curtains, cushions, and wall covering, bedding, surgical suture, and in parachute. Do you know the meaning of ahimsa? Non-violence. You know, children, 6,600 kilograms of silkworms are killed to make just 1 kilogram of silk. But in this method, cocoon is used after the moth emerges, so as not to kill the moth. But the quality is poor, like wool. Students, do you know? Strong as a steel in strength, silk is the strongest natural fiber known to man. It was proved recently that 16 layers of silk can stand against a bullet from Magnum 357. Recap. Silk is a natural animal fiber made up of protein. It is soft, smooth, and shiny. Life cycle of silk moth has 4 stages: eggs, larva, pupa, and silk moth. Sericulture. The rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called sericulture. Processing of silk. For obtaining silk, moths are grown and their cocoons are collected to get silk threads. Reeling of silk. The process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk. Types of silk. There are 4 types of natural silk produced based on the silkworms used. Discovery of silk. According to an old Chinese legend, silk was found accidentally by a Chinese empress Qiang Qi. Women's part. About 60% of total working force in sericulture is women. Uses of silk. Used in clothing, bedding, surgical suture, upholstery, that is fabric covering to furniture, and in parachute. Students, silkworms need to shed their skin, whereas humans do not. You know why? As their body grows, they have to move out of their skin because it becomes too tight for them. This process takes place 3 to 4 times in caterpillars till they are fully grown. In humans, skin cells also grow with the body, so they need not shed their skin. Only shedding of dead skin takes place in humans. One more thing, China is the leading silk producer in the world. India is the second largest producer of the world. Students, hope you have enjoyed this part of this lesson. Please find out the keywords from this topic and define them. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.